Cinnamon Effect. I'm Kimberly Hand, and I'm here with Toni May. So on our flight, you and I, when we were talking, we kind of dove into like health and wellness. We started talking about that a lot, and you were open with me about a health journey that you've been on. Do you want to talk about that?
Sure. Open book policy with Toni May. So during lockdown, find out I'm celiac. So that is the allergy to gluten, because I like to make, a lot of people choose not to eat gluten or they're gluten, quote unquote, intolerant. This is an actual allergy that can cause gross inflammation in your body. It's super bad. It makes so much sense over the decades that I was like, why am I sick? So went gluten-free, never touch it that I know of, maybe from a restaurant that didn't tell me the truth. But
I know it does get snuck in there sometimes.
But then within a year, I had an ear ache, and then it was full. I had just emceed a big event. So I thought, it was loud at the event. Maybe it messed up my ear. Went to the little doc in the box, as we call it, and the emergency little walk-in clinic. They said, you have an ear infection. No, turns out I was profoundly deaf. It's called sensorineural hearing loss. And what they believe, and this is not a controversy, this is medically backed up, is either COVID or the vaccine caused it. They're having a dramatic rise in this kind of hearing loss. And either COVID attacked my hearing cells or the shot just didn't react good in my body because of the autoimmune. They don't know. But so I have no hearing in my right ear. Oh, you and I were talking about that in terms of autoimmune and just really what I've learned. And you really did spark this journey. I had dabbled, but I guess you know how we are. We're women, we're busy. You're juggling parenting, you're juggling a job, you're juggling volunteerism. I put my health last. And if anything I'd like to share with young women, especially your age with young children, don't put your health last. We just read another story that the Surgeon General says that parenting in 24 is the most stressful in the history of the world, to the point of he's calling it detrimental to your health. And much of that is putting off your own health checks and your own health issues and saying, I can get to that.
Yes.
And I highly do not recommend that.
Yeah, and I could see you always being in kind of this high pressure atmosphere to just be like, I'll get to it, or I'm okay, I'm going to push through. You probably had to push through your whole life.
You just think it's something not that important, and it could or it couldn't be.
Yeah.
So now we're on the journey, functional medicine journey. I really believe the more I research that it can cure your body. It can change your life, getting rid of stuff that just isn't good for you. Sugar, number one, for sure. And this was a funny moment with me and Kimberly, because I have a weakness for Diet Coke, and I rarely have them. But on the plane, I accidentally said Diet Coke in front of her, and we were talking about having drinks because she doesn't drink. And I said, you just don't drink alcohol? No. And then I got the Diet Coke. Remember, you're like, okay, that's worse than alcohol. Yeah. But you turn out to be right.
I Diet Coke shamed.
You Diet Coke shamed me, but it was actually helpful because a stranger says that. And I started studying, and there's so many bad things in these these chemicals, in these prepackaged foods, in these foods that just aren't from the earth. Like Diet Coke, even though Diet Coke should be from the earth and it should be good for you.
I know people are just so attached to their Diet Coke, which is actually funny. I must have felt really comfortable with you, because I probably would not have said that to anybody, but I had to shame my dad. I had to shame my mom about the Diet Coke. So it's something I feel very strongly about, is not drinking. If I were to have one, I personally would my head would feel like it was going to explode. Because I've done it, occasionally.
Just to trust it, or because you craved one?
Well, no. I actually never liked the way it tastes. I think the aspartame, I could do a regular Coke, although I'm caffeine sensitive. So I really couldn't drink that. But I've been able to if I ever had upset tummy or something, I could have a little sip.
It is good. I will say Coke does settle a stomach.
Yeah, a little regular Coke, I could do that, sip it on the side. But yeah, Diet Coke was never my thing. But I realized I was drinking years ago Crystal Light, and the aspartame in Crystal Light, I was getting these vicious headaches.
That happens to me with Crystal Light as well. For some reason, Diet Coke doesn't do it.
Okay.
But Crystal Light or any of these sugar-free instant drinks, they have so many of them now. They give me severe headaches. Same.
Yes. So it's maybe some other chemical that's in the Crystal Light.
I don't know, but I will say this, to your point, just released AMA, Diet Coke, regular drinkers of Diet Coke. So that's one a day. I rarely have one anymore, but one a day, higher risk of stroke, significantly higher risk of stroke. So your point is very well taken. It's not good for you.